Hey everyone, Zuka here from The Lich in the Dungeon, and I come with a question that I plan to answer. What do you do with a TPK? Now, I've heard lots of people talk about how to avoid a TPK and what to do if a TPK might be getting close, but I never really hear about anybody talking about what happens after a TPK, what happens after you accidentally kill the party. Most people think, that's it, party wipe, roll up new characters, but no way. TPKs happen. It doesn't matter how much you try to prevent it. Outside of divine GM intervention, everyone is going to die. Poor roll of the dice, so a bad save, monsters hitting too hard, too many spells were used, not enough healing. It doesn't matter what led up to it, but somehow it happens. Don't roll up new characters and scrap your dungeon just yet, because I'm going to tell you how to salvage your characters, your dungeon, and most importantly of all, your campaign from the ever infamous Total Party Kill.
I've been waiting for you.
Alright, so now that I have your attention, let's start talking methods. There are a few different ones, so I'll cover my favorites. String theory, being saved, taken captive, and afterlife. Let's dive right in. First off is string theory. So if you don't know anything about what I'm talking about, I'll put a link down in the description. So yeah, you go ahead and click on that and I'll wait here. Back? Great. So for those of you who did not click on the link and just watched me stare at the screen like an idiot, didn't pause the video or anything, um, every decision causes the universe to split off into different timelines, different universes, whatever you want to call it. Each timeline for the person's decision. So if it was a yes or no question, you have one timeline or universe where the person said yes and one where they said no. And of course, more choices mean more timelines, but then we start to get confusing, and I'm not going to lose you now. Um, but for your player characters, it's going to kind of be like a checkpoint or a last save in a video game, um, which basically just means you can jump back before they opened the door to the battle, and you can nerf some of the monsters or give them a different battle altogether that won't kill them, or maybe they just don't go in the door. Um, I mean, who knows? It's a different universe. Who knows? This method is a little bit of a cop out because the players know that they did die. You just are basically rewinding time and making it so they didn't, um, or giving them a fight that won't kill them or whatever. Um, So depending on your players, they might not really like that too much. Or, I mean, they may love it. I mean, I don't know them. I don't know your players unless you are my players. Ah, that's not you. Um, but it really all depends on how you describe it and how your play group is. So make sure I mean, you know your play group. So if this method works, fantastic. If it doesn't, throw it out the window. You're the GM. You know better than I do. The second method is being saved. Now, this one kind of depends on the narrative, but basically, just before everybody dies, some overleveled party comes charging in and saves the day, slaughtering the monsters and saving your PCs just in time. Of course, nothing is free, and the rescuers will want the PCs to go on a quest in return for saving them. This can be a fantastic plot device to set another piece of your campaign in motion, because you can send them to like other towns this way, and it's not really railroading, but it is almost. It's dancing with the line there. But the other way this can be fantastic is, why did this party save the PCs? How did they know they were in danger? What quest will they go on? Are these potential allies or bad guys? This opens up a world of opportunities to you, and just because you almost TPK'd the party. So the third method is taken captive. Now this one, it's probably my favorite one. And it unfortunately only really works if the monsters that killed your PCs were intelligent. But long story short, basically, whatever killed your PCs didn't. Instead, they healed them slightly, bandaged some wounds, maybe used some like cantrips or something to heal them up so that they didn't totally die, but they're still passed out. And they just take them prisoners. Perhaps these monsters needed some slaves, or perhaps they want to know who sent the PCs and interrogate them on why they're here. Um, which leads up to maybe the PCs are interrogated, or maybe they're just put straight to work in a labor camp. Either way, it makes for a really good jailbreak scene, either during the interrogation, after the interrogation, in the labor camp, on the way to the labor camp. Pick your genre is basically how that runs. But it makes for a fantastic jailbreak scene no matter what you pick. And if you play your cards right, it can be pretty damn good fun too. And the last method, the fourth method, is called Afterlife. Now, the story of how this all comes about is up to you. Obviously, a TPK happened, and that's how it comes about. But the afterlife part, you know what I'm talking about. Shut up. I hear the snark. I hear the snark in the comments. Shh. Um. Anyway, the story's up to you of how, but perhaps the PC's afterlife isn't quite what they expected. And for some reason, the four or however many of your party there are in the party that I run, there are four, so we're gonna run with four. It's a good example, okay? But for some reason, the four of them are all still together, and they have to fight their way out of Afterlife. The adventure of how they fight, the reason that they're fighting, the way that they're fighting is all up to you. But the way it ends, spoiler alert, is they wake up back in their bodies, or so they think. I mean, if you want to play with that, go for it. But they wake up back in their bodies. The monsters have either left, or they wake up with full hit points and full spells, and the monsters are still weakened from their previous fight, and they're basically able to slaughter the rest of them, or something. But they wake up, they stumble out of the dungeon, they manage to get back to a town and rest and recover from the almost TPK. Either way, back up and running, your campaign is safe, and not to mention, everybody gets to look pretty kick-ass in the process. So these are just four methods that you get to use um, to save a TPK. Now, I'm all for avoiding TPKs as much as possible, but sometimes they are unavoidable, and so don't go and tell like your Tumblr friends or your YouTube friends, oh, Zuka from the Lich in the Dungeon said we should kill our party to do these things. No, 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 that's not what I'm saying. That's not where I've gone with this video. But this is just the way to save a TPK in case, oh, whoops, we've all been there. Um, so yeah, that'll do it. If you have any other methods to salvage a TPK, maybe some that I've heard of, maybe some that I don't, leave them down in the comments, and we can have a nice discussion. If you have any other ideas for like another video that you'd like to see done, maybe a question you have about GMing, leave those down in the comments too. The questions I'll might try to answer down there if they're short questions, or I might make a video about them. GMing tips are always something that I would love to give and sometimes struggle to think up because I just use so many in our GMing processes. I'm sure you use the same ones that maybe I might not think to cover it because I use it all the time, so I figure, oh, everybody knows them. But anyway, I digress. Just be sure to leave a like and a subscription if you want to see more. I have lots of exciting things planned for the channel. But for now, till the adventure ends, this is Zuka Zalad signing off.
Leaving already? Do come back. Oh.